platform. And I'm really glad to see all these previous presentations because the platform feeds on the tools which were presented previously. So it basically collects all this data and give you safety profiles based on the data you have produced on the different tools. So following strictly Claire's templates, so I was asked to say what is the main aim of this implementation platform, and we have already discussed this in the morning. The idea is the same as safe by design, is to identify uncertainties and risks as early as possible during the innovation process. And this is based on the application of the precautionary principle. Then we encourage to identify these risks and take active management to reduce or eliminate them. And again, we are also seeking transparency regarding the safety data reporting. So in the end, we achieve safer materials and nano-enabled products in the market. So if we go next, please. Okay, so which are the target groups? Well, when we produce this implementation platform, we have several sectors and groups in mind. Industry, of course, since Safe by Design assists them in the development of safer products. And also it provides them with the tools that you have all seen before today, and there are more tools embedded into the platform. And other non-binding regulations as well, like LICAR and NanoSCAMP, which also looks at the benefits and risk and costs. Now we also look at the research groups because the platform contains procedures and SOPs protocols which research labs can benefit from. So we also look at innovation and funding raising agencies because they should take safety as an important building block when they are funding projects. We are picking this as well. Also, of course, regulatory bodies, because we want to provide them with tools and instruments which are again embedded in the platform to assist them when assessing nano-enabled products. And finally, as it was mentioned this morning, we would like to foster to implement transparency of safety data, because transparency of data automatically translates into trust from mainly consumer groups, for example. So if I can have the next slide, please. So how does it work? And this is really challenging to have this all done in 10 minutes. So basically, if I take it back from the first presentation this afternoon from Keld, I mean, he was talking about the innovation process. Here, I'm going further than that. We see the whole value chain of a product, which goes from basic technology research into recycling. However, at the end of the day, I mean, life tells us that there is no such a project that long. At least we have not seen one ever. However, when we talk to industry, we see they have little projects along the value chain. For example, one company may be working on recycling of a given material from the waste. Perhaps other companies are working trying to embed the material into a matrix. So in all these different projects take place along the value chain of a product. And then the implementation platform now is focusing on these independent projects. And also each project and their phases and milestones, which tells you to go ahead or go back into the starting of the project. So if I can have the next slide, please. And the next, please. So I don't know if you can see this text. I will read it for you. So basically, the platform works in a very simple way. First, we can say you gather all the data that you have, or you may find it from the literature, or you do the experiments yourself, data that you may have also got from the previous tools that we heard about. And then the platform is helping you to structure this data in a regulatory-based way. Of course, sometimes there are no regulations. So the platform assists you by giving gate pass or no pass values, so you know at each time where you are, right? So we have developed this very easy user-friendly platform. It's easy to follow on the web. Now your product, your project should be divided into phases if you want to use the platform, and the phases should have very detailed milestones. Now the platform will provide you with the phase-specific safety dossiers, which are again based on regulation. And you can produce customized outputs. So depending on the stakeholder you are going to approach, you may decide which information is important to have and which one is not important to have. And this comes out after running the platform. You get your safety profile from the different phases. And as I said before, and also earlier this morning, at early stages of development, there is no real regulation. So we also have introduced for certain parameters go or no go criteria. So you get out in the report, also as a graph view, you will see where you are regarding to regulation, and you can decide if still you can go ahead because that point is not important at a particular time, or if you so go back. And again, these output profiles will give you the information in a transparent way. So here, also going back to the previous presentation from Kel, you see a straight line with the different gates and stages or phases. However, now experience is also telling us that innovation is never in this straight and flexible form. So now the platform is also very flexible. So you can jump over different phases or stages to adapt itself to their current industrial situation. So if I can have a next slide, please. So we have resources. Now I was listening to the previous presentations. They talk about hours or minutes. Actually, I cannot put a number behind the time running the platform will take, because it's not a matter of just one go. In this, the platform will run along the whole project. So you go in, introduce data at a particular phase, go back in. So it could take you like the whole lifetime of your project if you wish, or maybe just half a day. It depends on what you are using it for. So the project, as I said before, it should be structured into phases and milestones, so you can introduce them into the platform. Now, since it looks at the different safety aspects defined by regulation, the user should have some knowledge of the regulation which applies, at least for the final product. If they don't have this information, they should seek advice. Next point, please. Again, the platform will provide you with the different harmonized procedures and protocols and databases. And again, if the user is not familiar with these protocols, they should seek advice. Next. And as it was mentioned before, all those safety tools must be used sometimes. There are more simple ones, for example, perhaps NanoSafer or Staffing Manager Nano, but we also have complex tools. So while choosing the tool and introducing the data, we may also need some expert advice. Also, on the functionality, on this balancing between safety and cost, there are several tools out there, including Licara, and sometimes also expert knowledge is required. Next, please. And the same thing applies to a life cycle assessment. If the user is not familiar with these tools, then again, they should seek advice. Next one. Yes, and then as before, also for us, while introducing and using this platform with customers, there is some investment in getting the information regarding the cost of our processes, but this also applies for other tools like Licara, and then if not known, this information is to be seek, and sometimes it costs time also to find this information. Next, please. Next. Yes. So just to finish off, what we believe are the benefits of Safe by Design, and as such, Safe by Design implementation tools and platform, all the tools that were mentioned this afternoon, they will actually help industry growing faster because the problems could be identified early on during the development of a product. So this will give them advantage versus competitors. Again, safety, as it was mentioned before, transparency in safety equals consumer trust, and also reputation if we look into those soft regulations and then we care for the environment and reducing the nanomaterial, for example, in the waste, we can also gain reputation among customers. And the same applies to responsibility, because we take care not only of this strictly bidden telling by law, but also other soft regulations. And again, all these, the balancing the functionality, cost, and safety, and then the quick access to information sources like databases will speed up processes, and in turn, it will turn into economic viability. So if we go next, please. So basically, this is the face actually of the Safe by Design implementation platform. I didn't want to bother you with too many screenshots today, but of course you are very welcome to log in. You can request a password from info@temas.ch, and then you can have a go. On the platform is freely available also under the NanoRec2 project. Thank you very much for your attention.